morning, everyone. Welcome to Network Live Virtually TV. We are here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to bring you tips and tricks about networking, whether it's locally, nationally, or even internationally, and introduce you to amazing entrepreneurs all over the world. Entrepreneurs or business people that you can connect with, create collaborations with, do business with, or even referrals, or maybe even just friends. So be sure to join us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern, where we're going to introduce you to people. My goal this year is to introduce you to 1,000 new people. I want to connect 1,000 people this year. And I want to let you know that I am well on my way. I will absolutely make my goal. And there's one particular reason I will make my goal. So anybody know what it is? I'm the one counting. Right?
Yep.
So that will absolutely happen. And Lisa, I want to introduce you to my co-host, Miss Wendy Manganero. She is amazing. She coaches entrepreneurs through attracting and resonating with their social media marketing communities. And what's really so super cool about Wendy is that she actually is one of those people that will teach people. She coaches social media marketing on a one-on-one basis. And she's been around since Facebook began. She's an award-winning social media professional. She's consulted, managed, and trained firms on social media marketing tools and implementation. Like I said, she is my social media coach as well. She's done project managed social media endeavors from small to large size businesses. She's managed many businesses in many sectors, and she infuses branding and personality into social media campaigns to get driven, measurable results. She's also a Facebook ads expert, and there's a lot of people claiming there are, but there's not a lot of people who really are. So, welcome, Miss Wendy.
Good for the ego. I just want you to know she's great for the ego.
So, good morning, ladies. I'm going to introduce Rita, but I want to do that in just a minute. First of all, I want to say good morning, good morning, good morning. Wendy, tell us what's going on in your world. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
I have like a zillion things going on, and there's so many changes that have gone on in social media in just the last couple of weeks that I'm like trying to keep up with everything. But it's all good stuff because like Facebook Live is exploding. If it's right for you, it's not right for everybody, because really it's a tool to be really watched back later, and then people get upset that they don't watch. But there's so much cool stuff going on in that. And then Twitter changed things, and I'm hoping Facebook. The biggest announcement, Facebook just announced yesterday that in November, they're going to take their ads model and only be on mobile. That's the biggest news thing. Desktop is going away.
Facebook desktop or Facebook ads?
Ads. Facebook desktop. You know how you get them in the stream? Mm-hmm. They want all of their time, and because even when I run ads and we do desktop or right side ads, it really is. I'm not saying that you won't get any, but it won't be the concentration that it is now, because most of the ads are showing up on mobile, and they just do better even if you select to do all three. So that's the biggest announcement. They just made that yesterday.
Oh, well. So let's talk about that for a minute, because I know that you've been around since Facebook began. So you see this, which is what I love about. That's what I love about you, is because you really know your stuff, because you've been around since it began. It hasn't been around that long. It's not like you birthed a child that's 30 years old.
This is like a big deal, because at one point in time, it was just to get on Facebook and do ads. But now, like, they're going to concentrate on their third-party audiences, and they're going to focus on mobile, which really is where things will go. Now, what I'm really waiting for is for Facebook Live to be like Blab's platform, because that will come. I'm saying it. I'm not sure when, and I don't know who will get it first, but that will definitely come, because Facebook doesn't like to be beat by the competition.
No, they don't.
And because Facebook's all about connecting, right now Facebook Live is very one-sided, but have you guys
Like
seen,
Periscope.
like Periscope, right? And that's not what Facebook is built on. It's built on connection. So they're kind of, so I'm sure they wanted to like make Facebook Live work the best it could. And there's a really neat thing. I'll share the link if I can find it. Have you seen the Facebook Live maps?
No, what's that?
Oh, where you can find it. Yeah.
And you can see everywhere that's doing a Facebook Live. Here,
Just like Blab did in the beginning.
It's so cool because, well, and the really funny thing is, like last night I was doing it. There's a lot of people who out there using Facebook Live to sing, to lip sync in the cars and with their friends.
Really?
Yeah, it's really funny. I was like, oh look, they're singing that song and this one. No matter what part of the country I went to, lip syncing and Facebook Live. But you also get the featured Facebook Live. So I'll get the link for you and put it in the chat so that everybody can see it and kind of play with it later because it's a lot of fun.
So Wendy, how are you keeping, let's talk about this for a minute also. How are you keeping your clients and just others abreast of all these changes? Are you have a group or what do you?
Just because there's a change that is made, that doesn't mean that everybody has to jump on the bandwagon. And that's part of the biggest issue that I always see with Facebook is they're like, this is here, or just my clients. And I'm like, that doesn't mean you need to use it. Doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. Because the reality is, and I feel like I preach this all the time, the reality is that no matter what it is, no matter what, it's a tool. And if that tool is not right for you and your company, based on what your target market says, not based on what you think you should do, but based on how your end users, people who are going to connect with you, are actually using social media, that's when it becomes the right tool for you. It's not just because it's out there, because and part of that too is that everybody gets really comfortable in Facebook, and so they all think, well, I have to be on Facebook because that's the only thing. But the reality is that they may be missing an audience somewhere because their audience isn't on Facebook, or they're not utilizing the other tools. No, and I'm not going to say that it's not that Facebook doesn't matter. It certainly does. It's the biggest platform out there, but you can't ignore other things. But you won't know until you ask your audience. We ask our audience, how they like our products and what we're selling and how they want to be presented, and then we don't ask when it comes to social media. That is the biggest thing that we need to do, is how are you utilizing social media? It's like it's the missing piece of most of the puzzles, and then everybody goes on social media, tries to do the best they can, and they're like, it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work because you're not asking your end user how they're utilizing it. And everything, Sabrina went through this, everything from, are you clicking on ads? Do you use Facebook groups? And the next thing is will you watch a Facebook Live, and will you watch it in real time if it's scheduled, or would you rather wait and watch it later? Just like we would do if we were doing webinars and we give a playback for a certain amount of time. So it's all about not just saying, all of the tools can be awesome, or they could be a disaster, and you could put a lot of bad content out there. And that's what you have to be very mindful of, is when you are doing a Facebook Live, even if it's off the cuff, that you really have a reason to do that, so that it doesn't end up being something that nobody watches.
Okay. I'm going to introduce you to Rita, and then I'm going to let you talk to Rita, and then I'm going to step away and I'm going to grab some equipment because I want to try something crazy, and I'm going to have you coach me through it, Wendy.
Oh, great.
I'm going to grab my phone. I'm going to grab my phone and see if I can log on to Facebook on my phone and point it at our screen and see if we could do our Blab Facebook Live. Wouldn't that be kind of fun?
Enrique Iglesias was doing something similar to that last night.
Who was?
Enrique Iglesias. Yeah. He had 23,000 people watching him live, and he was on a phone chatting with somebody else facing Facebook Live. Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay. Yep. Let me introduce you to Rita first, and then I'm going to let you guys chat. I'm so excited to meet you, Rita.
Oh, it's nice to meet you.
I'm so excited that you're here because I cannot wait to hear about the Women's Business Garden. Rita is the founder of the Women's Business Garden. It's a community of female entrepreneurs and small business owners who come together to cultivate community and grow ideas to keep business blooming. She writes, speaks, and coaches globally, helping female entrepreneurs create communities where they become seen as the go-to expert in their field, making it much easier to attract their ideal clients and grow their business. So welcome, Rita. Good morning.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So while I step away and find this equipment and see if I can figure this out, tell Wendy and our viewers, because we're going to have a replay, all about you.
Okay. All right. Well, my story is actually very interesting. It is not a direct path to founding the Women's Business Garden. So about, I don't know, 2 years ago is when I went full time with what I'm doing now. But before that, I was a practicing business attorney. So I practiced law for about 13, 14 years actively as a business attorney. And simultaneously, I was running a singles group. I was single. I was wanting to meet people. So as a hobby, I ran a singles group. And it grew beyond my wildest imagination. Like 5,000 people joined this meetup. It's now at 5,000. So 10 years later, the group is at 5,000 people. But hundreds of people joined right away. And I was like, I guess there's a need for singles in the suburbs to get together. So I'm going to be the leader of this. And what was funny is I became kind of the go-to expert on being single, even though I had met a guy right as I started the group, like right in the group. I met him and we started dating and we ran that group together for 5 years. So here I was being interviewed on all trends, being single. And it was I had a built-in community of people to go to get the answers, right? So it was a lot of fun running that group and I really enjoyed it and I hated practicing the law. Like I absolutely, positively hated practicing the law. And so here I was doing this singles group thing, hating practicing the law. And after 5 years of dating this guy, he broke up with me. He dumped me in a parking lot at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was miserable. It was terrible. And I decided the very next day, I kind of was talking to a bottle of wine may have had something to do with it, but I was talking to my to my best friend and I said, you know, I've had 5 long-term relationships in my life and here's what they have in common. They all ended in me. And that was like all they had in common. So I was like, well, maybe, call me crazy, maybe I have something to do with this situation. So I decided to go on 35 dates in 35 days and blog all about it. And the point was to meet people I would normally not meet and do things I would normally not do so that I had to get out of my comfort zone and figure myself out. So I did that. I embarked on these 35 dates with guys. I didn't filter them. I didn't want to know their age or their race or what they did for a living. And they had to pick the activities. So it was crazy. I went to trapeze school, terrified of heights. Like it was a really great project. But I met a coach through that project and she said, what are you doing? You hate practicing the law. You are already building communities. You've rallied this whole community of singles. Now you're coaching people. You don't even realize it. You should quit the law and be a coach. And I said, you're crazy. Nobody just quits the law. That's not what happens. You don't just not be a lawyer one day. That's just too much for me to take in. But I hated the law. So eventually the universe, getting all woo-woo, right, conspired and my contract with my firm ended. And I had a choice. I could either go into another law job or I could figure out what I wanted to do. So I hopped into coaching and I hopped into dating and relationship coaching because that was my wheelhouse. That's where I had my community. I was an expert in that field. And suddenly, after about 3 months, I had surpassed my attorney's salary and I was doing really well in my business. And I had entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs mainly, coming up to me saying, how'd you do it? How'd you quit corporate America? How did you make this work? Please tell me. So I dipped back into my business law roots, kind of combined it all, the coaching, the business, everything, and decided I wanted to coach female service-based entrepreneurs on doing what I did, on either growing a business that they had or being able to leave corporate America. And that's when I founded the Women's Business Garden. And the Women's Business Garden is larger than just me coaching. It's a very tiny component under a very large umbrella. But the Women's Business Garden has now attracted not just service-based entrepreneurs, but small business owners, product-based women entrepreneurs from all around the world who are coming together online virtually. But now we're starting to have in-person chapters as well, scattered right now throughout the United States. We started the first one in the DC area. And they're coming together for masterminding and for sharing resources and learning from experts and really supporting each other. We've had people team up to help each other get TEDx talks and write books. And the community has just become this amazing place. And because of that, I decided that when I was kind of doing this random business coaching, I said, wait a minute, I'm really good at building communities of people and I love doing it. So I want to help others do the same because it's so powerful for their business. And the Women's Business Garden is kind of an embodiment of that. And so that's what I've been doing for a while now. And my path has been crazy, but I'm so glad that it brought me to where it is because they're really amazing people that I'm meeting, like you, along the way, and like Wendy's. So.
That's awesome.
Wow. And we want to know a lot more about that. But right now, first, we're going to run our experiment.
Wait, before you do that, I just want you to all know that this last week, you're going to think this is absolutely crazy. In September, I'll have my MBA. And I went for my first law school interview last week.
Oh, boy.
I was like, all right, you've been talking about it for 20 years. You really need to just go and get it done. And I have no desire to stop doing what I'm doing. My husband and I run a nonprofit, and I need that for that nonprofit. And so I was like, I need to just go and do this. You've been talking about it for 20 years.
I loved law school. I loved law school. Yeah, I did not like practicing the law.
I lost my mind. I'll be running 3 businesses by then, but that's okay. I'm good with it.
Nice. That's great.
How did that happen?
That's so funny.
But I got you two together on the same one.
I'm ready to go.
I love it. No, that's great. It does come. It's so helpful. I mean, it can never hurt. It only supplements.
Well, that's what I figured. So I'm really excited. I'm taking a year off of school though because I need to not read school-related material for the next couple of months.
That's great though.
Okay.
That's great.
All right. So where are you doing this Facebook Live? Are you going to do it in the group? I would personally suggest you do it in the group.
I don't know how to get to the group. Boy, you're going to have all kinds of coaching going on here. Okay, so I never go to the group in my phone. How do I get to the?
Do you have Facebook groups downloaded?
I don't know. Where's Facebook groups?
All right, go to Facebook and type the name of the group.
Okay.
We'll start there. It's the easiest way.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Are you on an iPhone? You're on an iPhone, right?
I'm on an Android.
Okay, this will be really fun for me to do because I'm an iPhone gal. All right, go ahead, go to the group.
Okay, I'm in the group.
All right, once you're there, go to post, and one of the icons on the bottom should be the Facebook Live icon. But let's hope Android works the same as iPhone.
Go to post. Then go to the camera.
No. It should say, when you go to post, one of the bottom things should say, there should be a little Facebook Live icon. It's not there? That's because you may not have groups downloaded. All right. Do it from your personal page.
Okay.
Go to you.
Go back.
Or you have not downloaded the update, which we've had this before, then she doesn't have it at all.
Oh my God. See, that's what happens, right? This is why you need to be broadcasting all this stuff. Okay, so go to. Well, all I have is a camera, people, faces, and a little.
Do you have this?
thing.
Do you have, I don't even know if you can see. It's like a little, no, it's like a little.
And I don't have my phone near me because I actually.
Live video on my, when I go to post, no.
It's not. Hold on. Let me go get my phone. I'll be right back.
Oh, this is going to be such a fun show today. You guys are going to teach. I can't wait for everybody in this group to see this. I'm going to have to put this in here. So, Rita, in the meantime, while we're waiting for Wendy, I missed most of your conversation, so you'll forgive me because I was trying to round this up, the Women's Business Garden. So did I hear you say they meet virtually?
We meet virtually and in person. So it started as a Facebook group. So it started as a Facebook community for women, freelancers, and entrepreneurs and business owners. And so members are from all over the world. But then there was a high interest from the members to have in-person kind of chapters. So I don't know that this is going to go an association-ish type of route. But right now, that's what we're implementing in the DC area is our first kind of in-person arm of the Women's Business Garden. So, but for now, everything that we kind of do in person, we also do virtually. So if we have a book club on a book, we do it virtually. If we have a workshop, we'll also do it virtually. If we do networking, we'll do virtual networking. So it kind of mirrors each other, which is very nice, I think.
How are you doing that virtually?
We use Blab for our book clubs and for virtual networking. We use webinar software, different seminar software for some of our workshops and our calls. So Blab has been very helpful for that.
But you can only get 4 people in a seat at a time. So are people hopping in and out? Or?
I facilitate it so people have time to all hop in and out. You know, some people just come in to watch. They're not really in the mood to kind of hop on camera that night, and that's fine, right? So people will come in, they'll participate either audio or video or by chat, and we have time to filter and get to know each other and really know each other's thoughts or opinions. Sometimes we'll have the author of the book join in. If I'm able to get the author of the book to hop in on a Blab, they'll hop on and actually get to discuss the book, which is very nice. That's a feature then that the in-person chapter kind of doesn't get, because the author's not going to come to them in person, but can online. So, and it's been a great way for people to learn about the Women's Business Garden as well when we do stuff virtually, and people kind of hop in and go, wait, what's this? What's a garden for business? Like for what? I like gardening. I was like, great, come on in. I've actually had a lot of members join because they say this theme is amazing. It's like it's not stuffy. It's just truly community. They associate gardening with community and growing and beauty, and so I've really attracted some interesting people that I was never anticipating, and I'm happy about that. So yeah, so we use Blab a lot for a lot of our stuff.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Miss Wendy.
All right, so I was trying to do it, but I'm not an admin in your group, so I can't do it. Okay, so what you're looking for? I'm going to go in live to my group. I'm going to see if I can get it to work this way. When you go into groups, let me see your phone. Oh, there's a glare. I can't see. Are you in groups?
No, I'll go into I'm going to you said search for my group.
Picture of your family, Sabrina.
That's not my family.
Or that's not it was a lovely picture, whoever it was.
I don't even know. Okay, so now I'm in my group. See, there's my header, right?
And then you should be able to go to post.
And where it says write something, I hit it, I touch it. So now I'm in the post area.
All right, now what's on the bottom? What's your icons?
I have a camera, a person with a tag, a smiley face, and a little whoop-de-whoop, whatever that is.
Maybe they haven't rolled it out to everybody yet on Android.
You know what's so funny? I don't have it on my groups either, and I have it on some and not others. All right, so the next thing you can do is go to your business page. She doesn't have it. I don't have it on mine. They might have taken it out of groups.
Maybe. I know I did the other day.
I did it the other day too. That's the crazy thing. It was there.
Okay, now I'm on my business page.
All right, if you're on your business page, right? You're going to go into, let me just go anywhere, and go into publish. You see a publish icon?
I still have it in my group. I have it in my group.
I don't have it in mine. It's so weird.
Okay, and when I go to my page, I can go to post. Oh,
you have a little icon. Can you see my phone? See, I
got a little person with 2 lines around it now.
That's
it. That's it.
So it'll ask you for a title. Put a quick title. Put Network Live Now or something. You can change it.
I'm doing it. I got it.
And then it goes 3, 2, 1 and starts. So are you in the Washington area?
I am. I'm in Washington, in the Washington, D.C. area. Yes.
Okay. So that's because I'm here in Louisville. I'm from the East Coast originally, and I like it here. Still a little shocking all 4 years later, but because I'm from like New York, New Jersey area. So
yeah, nice.
I really like it. But I was here at a conference at U of L, and Nikita Washington. Let me say if that's her right last name. But anyway, she'll be on my show, and she's like a networking queen. She works for the State Department.
Oh, nice.
And I thought that would be a good hook for
yeah.
So it's good.
She's
The
awesome.
phone can only go one way.
Does it let you turn around?
The phone can only go one way.
It should give you a thing. Oh, I can't do it on that page. My husband will think I lost my mind.
I got two computers sitting here, so I'm
Oh. That's it. You're going to get feedback. All right. There should be in the corner a little thing to go backwards so that you can see. It should give you the thing.
Oh, there's the thing.
Love Spria.
But
Too much fun.
oh shit! Whoops! I just accidentally screwed it up.
It's okay. Here, I'm going to go live. Ready?
There you go.
Yeah.
Turn it around.
I was gonna do it and then my phone died. So I'm like, I'm out.
We were all going to do it. Well, while we're all
So
thinking
now you
about
guys
that,
are on Facebook Live on my page. Say hello, everyone.
hello everyone. On your page?
Hello,
Wendy?
everybody on Wendy's page.
It's on Social Abundance Marketing. And so just so that our audience knows, as they're watching me through the camera on the camera, this is very fun, that we are live on Blab right now. And I was giving a Facebook Live tutorial of some sort. And so because Facebook Live does not have a two-way conversation yet,
I was giving
this is what we are
tutorial of some sort, and so because Facebook Live does not have a
There we go. I'll just stop the sound.
There you go. Can you see it? So if you want to do Facebook Live and you want to record your Blab shows, then you go and you just going to give the tutorial online real quick so everybody gets it for playback later, because that's when they watch these. It doesn't happen now. Is they go to their business page, either on an Android or an iPhone, and then they go to publish or post. In there, you'll see a little person with two lines around them on the bottom. And you click that, you type in your title, and then you press record. It says 3, 2, 1, and you start. And that is how you do Facebook Live. You can watch this back as many times as you want, because I feel like I'm strangely talking here and there at the same time. I don't know if my lips are catching up to my sound. But we are on with Rita Goodrow, and she is, okay, so you own business?
Women's Business Garden.
Women's Business Garden, and she was an attorney who is now a business coach for entrepreneurs and have started online communities across the world.
Well, kind of. I coach people across the world on how to build their own communities so that they can be seen as an expert, have a loyal following, which makes it much easier for people than to attract clients. You know, like Facebook groups are a great example of community building feature, so that you have the right people kind of in your circle that really lift you up. And so a lot of people need help with building those communities.
And I think that's awesome that you do that, by the way. I love that because I think Facebook groups is probably one of the best ways to build community. And it's so funny because 6 years ago, I would have said, absolutely not. This is the worst thing you could have ever done. Everybody was so concerned with privacy and the difference between showing, there was a real disconnect between
you could have ever done. Everybody was
I'm trying to watch this in the group.
side and showing your personal side.
Yeah.
And now it's all connected. And it has to be because we're complete people, and people forget that we're complete people.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, so that's why, I mean, and even using Meetup, so some of the, but just in general, how to really build a community and how to make your existing followers feel connected as part of a community, whether that's through a Facebook group or through a Meetup group, but in a way that they're interacting with your business and your brand as a community and not just as fans. and not just as followers. So I think that there was a new study that came out, right, that if you create a community for your clients and your customers and for your followers, that they are it was either 14 or 19% more likely to spend money on your products or your services. They call that social dollars, because they are connected and they like to be connected to people who are connected to people who are connected to people. And if you can create that environment in your business model, then people are more likely to pay you what they call their social dollars.
Right. And the other thing is too, it's so funny that you said that. Now, on the other side of that too, is that social works in the sense of people will usually buy from people they're, like you said, already following. Just one of my clients just pushed up a Kickstarter, and she was like, okay, so who are these? She kept saying, now who are these ads going to? I'm like, only people in your Facebook community already and only people on your email list. And guess what? She made it in 13 days.
Yeah.
Kickstarter. And then she made she asked for another 1,200 to do some extra stuff at the end, and she exceeded that, and I think she made 1,360.
Yeah.
And an extra 1,360. And it was because we didn't go out of the scope, because the community and the tribe was already there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Realize it. And so it worked really, really well, and people did not mind. We didn't run the ads 24/7 because that's just annoying. But, it was ran in ways that when people were online, and what really worked for her was not so much, the email list was okay, but what really worked was her already Facebook community.
Yeah.
She had 3 pages, and they were really highly engaged with it, and it just worked. So yeah, I completely agree that once you have a community, then it's easier to resonate with them because they want to follow you, because you're already connected with them.
And that's the difference between the groups and the pages, right? So Facebook pages are very much kind of, here I am, right? Here I am, and you are all my followers, right? And then you have the groups, and if you and when people start groups and they don't understand, why is my group not taking off? Like, there are these other groups that are just taking, and I go into it. If the focus isn't on connecting the members to the members and really helping lift them up, right? I say that the Women's Business Garden is very much founded on the philosophy that you can rise to success in 2 ways. You can climb up the ladder and then kick it down and be high up on a ledge and just be successful, but be all by yourself. Or you can climb up the ladder and lean down and pull other people up to join you. And so the Women's Business Garden is all about first helping other people succeed, helping provide the resources and the opportunities and the introductions and the connections that lift up the other community members. And by doing that, you will also succeed, right? And that's kind of the way that we come at everything in the groups. When I go into Facebook groups that aren't working, or communities that aren't working, it's because that's missing. They're not putting the members first, and they don't all have this common goal and this collective kind of unity. Instead, it's still very one-way facing, right? Just me, here I am, and let me tell you about everything I'm doing. And isn't that great? But there's no interaction between the community members.
Mm-hmm. And it's an interesting thing because I do both sides of groups, and a lot of times, and maybe it's just my philosophy, there are a lot of groups who are like, you are absolutely not allowed to promote anything, like anything.
Ever.
Yeah.
I'm on the opposite side, because I think that then that instantly turns your group, and not that you want somebody spamming the group. Right. I'm not saying there needs to be rules of
rules of engagement.
Right, but I always look at those groups and I'm like, you just stopped everybody from communicating. So because if the communication isn't coming from you, then we're not allowed to do it. As opposed to really supporting each other and growing each other and saying.
I'm watching on the other computer. Tip that phone up a little bit.
Oh, okay. There we go.
There we go. The only person on it was Rita.
I just want you to know, just keeping the phone up is my exercise.
That is your job. I'm trying to watch this.
Yeah, there definitely have to be rules, like both, right? So in the Women's Business Garden, there are rules. Like, you do not just spam. You just don't post your links. But you can, through giving value to people, promote yourself, right? So I don't want you to just go, here's my new program, here's a link, check it out. Instead, if someone's talking and says, hey, I don't know how to do social media, blah, 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 and you're like, hey, here's what I do, and you go into it, somebody's going to ask you, wow, Wendy, what you said is really valuable. How can I find out more about you? That's okay, right? That's fine. Or I tell people, if you post I always say my group is not for inspirational quotes on pretty backgrounds. If you want inspirational quotes on pretty backgrounds, there are other groups out there where your wall is flooded with that. But I do tell people, if you do post a quote, that's fine, but I want you to share how that impacted you. How did that quote make you do something differently, right? So it engages. So you can have that balance between no promotion and then value, which by itself is a promotion, right? So yeah, totally agree.
And that's, it's so funny because you said that, because I rarely stop and take pictures, but I did this week, and I did a quote thing. But not only did I write it up on my stuff, but where I share, I'm very picky where I share things, and I won't share everything in every group because it's not appropriate for every group. And so I shared it on a couple, but it's because it made sense for that group, and why I was doing it made sense for that group. And because that's the other thing I see. Well, just post it in this group. Well, if it doesn't make sense for that group, or it's not, like it was about growth and changing your mindset, and that wouldn't have been acceptable in every single group that there's a couple of groups that I run or I'm involved in, because that's what they're talking about on a daily basis. And so that makes sense. But it wouldn't have made sense in a very strict business group, or it wouldn't make sense and so it really is, the other side of that is knowing your audience, and I'm always really big on intention, like intentionally being on social media.
Yes. Hey, I'm like woohoo, amen, right? Like being intentional, it's not on your platforms, in the groups you're participating in, and what you're saying, what you're sharing. And it extends to offline networking too, being intentional with what groups you're going to and who you're meeting, and having goals around it and what you're going to say. So many people just kind of connect networking online or offline, including social media, so reactive. Like they're just so reactive, and it's like, be proactive with this, please. Be proactive.
Well, and the other thing is that I was doing a talk. I was asked to go into like a mastermind group and talk about Facebook, and the next week I did LinkedIn, and we're talking, and somebody said something about social media just being a time suck, and I guess I was a little bit more off my game than usual, because I'm really usually pretty friendly, and I was like, well, that's on you. It's like, if you're going on there, and I'm like, this is your business day. This is not, and so if you don't know why you're going on there, or you get lost in translation of the reason why you went on there, that's on you, that you now have lost 3 hours on your business day. And so I have everybody, or I suggest that everybody I work with, I'm like, write 3 reasons why you're going on before you even get on, because this is not, there's social time on social media. That's great. But if it's during your business time, then there should be more to that. There should be more substance to, and so, that's what I try to do.
And it's good. And it's the same thing again, offline, right? It's like I tell people, when you go to these conferences, or you go to these workshops, or you go to these seminars, and then you're walking away saying, that was good, but wow, nothing happened as a result of it, right? Except I bought maybe a $200 course or something, but like, I didn't meet anybody. I said, no, well, what were your goals for going in? Well, to just go.
There you go.
Just to go. No, what were your goals? Like how many people did you want to meet? Who did you want to meet? What was the profession, the industry of people you wanted to meet? What was your purpose for wanting to meet them, right? What were your goals? Like, what information did you want to get? What did you want to take away? And people are just like, well, I don't know. I didn't give it any thought. And I'm like, well, no wonder you came back with nothing, right? You've got everything you do in your business. You have to have an intention for it. You have to have a clear set plan, and you have to have an intention, and even if the reason is just to provide a chance for people to be social, that's okay. If that's your intent. Right. And how does it fit in with the bigger picture of what you're trying to do for your business? And that's what's missing, and what so many people do online and offline and with social media. And that's why they're not seeing results.
And that's why they get frustrated and say they don't have. Because there's 2 types of people. There's people who don't, because they really have fears of technology, and it's part of what I do is get things done over. Because there is this expectation out there that they're supposed to know everything. And quite frankly, this is still really pretty new depending on your age group.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think what happens is as people get more involved being CEOs and stuff, there really is this onus of, I'm supposed to know this, and I don't want to tell anybody I don't know this, but I don't know this because that's not what they do, and that's okay. But then on the other side, so there's dealing with all of that, but then there's also dealing with, okay, this whole mindset of I'm just there to sell because it's 1950 and that's all we did. Right. That's all we knew how to do. So I'm trying to get them over that to move into a relationship based, and just because it goes online, that doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop, right? And so, for example, even offline, I tell people you're still doing it wrong, right? You're networking wrong. You're going up and you're talking about you and you're making it about you. And back in my date coaching days, right, I equate this to date coaching. It's like when you go on a first date, I tell people, if you're talking all about you, you're doing it wrong because you know you. You're not trying to date you. You know everything there is to know about you. Get to know the other person on the other end. And it's what Sabrina does with this show, right? So Sabrina gives people the chance to talk about themselves, because who doesn't love talking about themselves, and showcasing themselves, right? And she's highlighting other people. And you think we're not going to remember Sabrina? You think we're not going to want to help Sabrina when Sabrina needs something? She's going to be first on my mind, right? I should do this for Sabrina because of the law of reciprocity, right? So people come at online networking or offline networking, making it about them and selling, doing that 1950 selling, like you said, and not making it relationship based and not making it about the other person and what they can provide and the value that they can give someone. And they're not going to get a result. It's just not going to happen. You have to flip out of that mindset to have true success. I mean, you might make a sale if you're just selling, but you're going to always be grinding and constantly having to stress out about it. And that's just not that's not why I went into business. I didn't do it to stress out about it all the time. So
I really need to touch base on that because you two are talking about this. I got to say that it doesn't matter how much I preach this. The pigeons still fly over, drop their shit, and keep going.
Well, and that's the thing, though. I think that a lot of it has to be. This is how I feel about that. Is that there are certain people, even in my live networking groups, where I'm like, no matter how many times, no matter what we do, I mean, to the point where I'm like, we just have to stop discussing the fact that this person doesn't get it. It just takes away from everything that we're trying to do. And so it's very example based. And if they can't get there, you know what I mean? Because there's only so many conversations you can have. I have a 3-time rule. If I have to talk to you once, twice, 3 times, it's on you. You're okay. That's the way you want to live. I'm not going to change that. So then I need to set my time into who's really going to do this and change because they want to have the same growth.
Yeah.
And I know that seems a little severe, but on the other side of that, you can't give somebody what they are not ready to receive. They're just not. And so if you're showing by example and then you're following through with the action, and that person is doing the same thing, not perfectly, but trying to do the same thing, that's the people that I spend my time with.
Well, and the people who don't, they ultimately won't reach the level of success that the other people are. And that's really all that can happen, right? Is you say, all right, if you're not going to embrace it, that's great. That's cool. But you get, you can only go to here, right? You're never going to go to here. Or maybe they'll go to here and they'll be around people that love that. And that's fine too, right? It's just, it depends again on knowing your goal. What's your ultimate goal and what method is most likely to get you there and get you there successfully and sustainably, right? And that's the thing, the 1950 sales model, that's not sustainable. You can't knock on doors every day for the rest of your life and always have to be worried about the next sale, and that you can't hold on to that forever. So if you eventually want it to be not just profitable, but sustainable, you have to go outside of that method. You got to make it about relationships, but some people just won't, and they'll just keep churning and grinding and grinding. And that, hey, good for them if that's what they want to do. But, eventually I'm just like, okay, this isn't the right space. Like then the Women's Business Garden definitely doesn't become the right community for them to be in. But they feel that too, and they kind of leave on their own anyway.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing is that people who can't do that, they're like, this is not fun.
Yeah.
They weed themselves out because they don't want to do that. But, I've very consciously turned down clients that way and everything because I'm like, this is not what you're looking for and what I have to offer, I can send you to somebody who has what you want to offer, but that's not what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Because it's just work.
Yeah. That's why I love shows like Sabrina's. That's why I love virtual networking where everybody gets highlighted. That's where I love, asking, what can I do for you? Although I don't go to, I'm not a big one on networking events, going up to people and putting out my hand and saying, so tell me, what can I do for you? Like, that's just equally as like not authentic to me as, listen all about me. But the idea, the concept of just learning, being curious about other people and learning about them and wanting to know them and watching interviews like this. I mean, that's one of the best things that you can do is just keep thinking, what kind of value can I give to everybody that I'm coming across?
And I think that's key. And I don't know about you two. Have you ever sat in a one-on-one and you're like, God bless you. No way. Like I'm with well, but, and then there's other people that because of their honesty and because they're being authentic, you're like, you just want to go out and help them no matter what it is. You're like, here, use this person,
Yeah.
Like, and there's a difference. And I think that's based on just that authenticity,
Mm-hmm.
where it's not just you're trying to get something from somebody. You really authentically want to help them. And so you're like, sure, and they may not even ask, and you've sent them 6 referrals because you want to, because you don't feel like you're being sold to. And I think that's a huge, huge difference in a way to do business that resonates with other
It's so true. People love buying. People love buying, and people hate being sold to. People,
Yep.
I mean, they love buying, they hate being sold to. So what are you gonna do about it, right? I mean, you've got to then get them to buy without selling to them. So you have to think, what does that look like and feel like and smell like and taste like, right? And, but that's true.
I know what it smells like, feels like, it tastes like. My credit card reminds me of one.
So just look at your bank account. You'll know what it looks like.
Yeah, buddy.
Like,
I know every single month. Feels like. I have more stuff. I have bought more stuff. I bought stuff I can't even find because I can't find it because I don't even remember what it was.
yeah. It's when people
I am
say,
not joking, to the tunes of like thousands and thousands of dollars. So
yeah, it's amazing what you can learn from looking at your calendar and looking at your bank account. I mean, it really is. I tell people all the time, like, who come to me saying, but Rita, my business is my priority. I just can't hire you right now. And I'll say, that's fine, but I want you to kind of own up to whether your business really is your priority or not. And if you look in your bank account and you look at your calendar, you'll see what your priorities are. And you either have to accept it and be okay with it and say, hey, my priority right now is social and hang out with my friends and being okay. Don't feel like that shouldn't be your priority if it is. But if it's really not, then you have to say, how do I adjust my time and my money to align with my priority, right? But that's the biggest indicator of your real priorities right now. Look at your last few charges and look at what you did the past couple of days, and they're your priorities, regardless of what you say your priorities are.
Right. And, as somebody, I had on one of my shows, I had a coach on from California, and darn if I can't think of her name right now, but she's the best thing that she ever said. And I was like, that is so true. She said, because people get, caught up on the finances of it. And she said, lack of commitment, of saying I don't have enough money is really lack of commitment. And I was like, well, isn't that profound? Because that's really the truth of it, is that it's not about, I was just talking, I have another business partnership going on, whatever, and I'll announce that when I'm ready. Because anyway, but I was talking to my new business partner, and she was talking about hiring somebody in because our focus is shifting a little bit. And she said, and I said to her, this is just lack of commitment. You'll have everything you need to do it. I'm like, this is not about money. This is about commitment and committing to make this successful. So when you're ready to do that, then you'll be committed into this process. And she was like, oh, that's right. That's right.
That's right.
Right. So, and I really tried to take that because I'm one of those, money is energy. And in order to receive that energy, I have to give that energy back out into the world. And seems to work better that
I
way.
was interviewing on Blab another member of my women's business garden community the other day, and we were talking about this, and I put out there a new phrasing. Whenever people say I don't have money, or I don't have time, or I'm so busy, or I don't have enough, I can't afford this right now, anything along those lines, I have them reword it as, it's not a priority for me to spend the time on this right now, or it's not a priority for me to spend the money on that right now. And I'll say to them, how does that sit with you when you say that? And they'll say, that feels right. And I say, okay, well then say that instead, because if you use time or money as an excuse and say, I don't have the time or I don't have money, your brain eventually takes that to be true. And you really don't have time and you really don't have money. But when they go, oh, that doesn't feel good, it really is a priority for me to do this thing right now, then I say, then the next question is, it is a priority for me to spend the time or money on this right now. So how can I find the time? How can I find the money? That's an action we can solve, right? We can't solve, I can't afford it, or I don't have, because that's already a foregone conclusion, right? Nothing we can change about that. But if you just reword it and really pay attention, it can make all the difference, right? It's like, oh, it's not a priority for me to spend time on social media right now, but you're thinking, no, it really is. I really need to post to my Facebook group and I really want that community to go. Then the next question is, how do I find the time? Much different question that can be answered with a huge different result.
I do scripting every morning, and one of the things that I write daily, or I have been, and I have found that I have been much more focused as a result of it, is that I have plenty of time to get everything done. Because now it's not like I'm trying to beat the clock. It's more of, okay, then I do have time, because then I'm setting my priorities in the right places. So I really try to do a mind switch on that. And it's simple things like that, which you don't think that takes away power from you, but it really does if you don't do things like my to-do lists go so much smoother, and I'm like, okay, I had enough time to do everything I needed today. And then when that doesn't, then that goes to the next day, and I'll have enough time to do everything I needed that day. And then I am not under the pressure to, I don't feel like I'm trying to beat the clock anymore, because there is no beating.
No beating the clock. Yeah. There really isn't a clock. Like, I think it's Jen Sincero, a coach, and she wrote a book called You're a Badass, right? So that's a big book that's out there. But she goes into a thing about time in there. She says time's an illusion, right? Because we've created time. We've created the concept of time. But really all time is an event followed by an event, followed by an event, followed by an event. So it's not about 10 more minutes here or an hour there, or waking up even an hour earlier or whatever. What it really is about is, what events are you putting into that line, right? If it's an event followed by an event followed by an event, then it's all about what are your events in your day, and not how much time do I have in a day, right? So when you say I have time to do everything, it really makes you figure out, well, what is it that I want to do? What is my everything, right? What I have time to do everything I want. You have to know what you want for that to work out and be true, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This morning it was to clean this disgusting living room. The 10-4 slide. I was like, I have an 11 o'clock shadow. Well, this is much dirtier than I thought after I put the stuff away.
It's funny how on my regular mornings, I don't have time before 12 to shower or to put on makeup or to do whatever. But today, oh my God, today I showered. I was putting on perfume. My husband's like, honey, the computer doesn't work like that. It is totally fine, right?
Yeah, honey, the computer's not going to smell you, but you sure do smell good.
I smell me, but it's like, I'm showered. But yeah, it's funny how I could do that everywhere. And I do. I sent a funny post in my group the other day about how I really do. I had to set a reminder on my phone to say shower, because I could get so swept away, right? But it would be very easy for me to go, oh my gosh, I'm so busy, I don't have time. There's so much going on. Really, I had plenty of time to do it. I just chose not to do it, right? And today, because it was a priority for me, I chose to do it. I had the time for it. I think even in that book, You're a Badass, she talks about how people say, I don't have time to organize my hallway, my foyer or whatever. I don't have time. I'm so busy. But then when they lose their keys, because they can't find their keys, they'll have 3 hours to find their keys. And she's like, see,
right.
You do have the time. When it's a priority for you, you have the time for it.
And my husband had a friend who used to say, all right, I'm going to mess it up. He used to say, you're judging yourself on your intentions, and the world is judging you on your actions. And that is such the truth when it comes to time and what we do with it and how we spend it and what becomes a priority in our world.
Yep, absolutely.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Yep. Because in my head, I have all these great intentions, but if I don't take action on it,
that's that book, there's a book, The Prosperous Coach by Rich Lippin, and he tells it's a well-known joke. It's not his joke, but he tells a joke about there are 5 frogs and they're all sitting on a log, and 4 frogs decide to jump off. How many frogs are left on the log? And the answer is 5, because 4 of them only decided to jump off the log. And there's a big difference between deciding and doing.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah. Boom, drop mic, walk out of the room. Right? Yeah. But it's a great point, right? We have all these intentions and we make all these decisions, and we're so busy in our decisions that if you look at what you're actually doing and how you're actually spending your time, I guarantee you will find plenty of time in your day but you're so busy thinking about being busy that you can't find the time, right? Because you have all these decisions, but you haven't really done anything towards most of them.
My favorite thing to do for that, and so that I can decipher them, is, I don't know if you've done this yet, is the brain dump, because I will have a zillion things in my head. I will have to sit for 15 minutes and write them all day down, and then put them into categories of like, have to do now, important, urgent, got to get done. And, as far as business goes, there's that section that says, they're like high level stuff that like you just keep putting off, but it's stuff like your marketing. It's stuff like your, whatever that is for your high level business stuff. And that's the stuff that you're like, yep, that never seems to get done. And so, prioritize the start there and then work on the other stuff so that you don't. And then also knowing what you can get off your list.
Yeah,
because
delegate. Delegate.
I was lost without my virtual assistant.
This is amazing, and I wish we could stay here all day.
Oh my gosh, it's already at the end.
I know, our time is already up, so I do have to throw in my commercial message, of course, and I want you guys to throw in your commercial messages. Remember, this show is always brought to you on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern, sponsored by NetworkLiveVirtually.com, where we actually have live virtual networking groups running every single week. Today, Diana Sandora hosts one, I believe, at 3 p.m. I just put the link in there. She will be beginning a free mastermind group, and you will get the opportunity to actually connect live on audio and video and exchange contact information and meet other people. So please feel free to join us. Check our calendar. Let me get you the calendar link, because like I said, there are at least 5 groups a week running. We have 3 more groups soon coming. So very soon there will be about 8 groups a week running. So you can just pop into any group you want. We're always looking for presenters. We're always looking for new hosts. So if you're serious about expanding your circle of influence, and have what it takes to run a group, to facilitate a group, please feel free to reach out to me also, and we'll chat about that. Okay, so ladies, I've got my commercial message out, but I want you all to put your information there so people can find you, because that's what we're here for, so that people can find you. Remember, I have to connect 1,000 people this year, and we know that I will accomplish that task because I'm counting. Just saying.
True. Well, if you're a female, if you're a woman entrepreneur or freelancer, small business owner, please feel free to join us in the Women's Business Garden. The best way would be the Facebook group. And if you do happen to be in the DC area, I will put the meetup group link, because that's where we're running the group right now, and you're free in the DC area to join us in the meetup, but for everyone, the virtual. And then if you are not a female entrepreneur or small business owner, and you're like, yeah, but this sounds awesome, I will put my Facebook page on here as well, because a lot of what we do ends up crossing over and getting extended invitations, get extended outside of just the actual Women's Business Garden itself. So I'll put that page here too. And I would just say that's really what I'm looking for right now. More members in the Women's Business Garden community. There's some really amazing people there. They're doing amazing things. Some work, as high level as some previous advisors to the White House who have branched out on their own and started their own consulting firms, all the way to, some artists that are doing amazing things in Australia. It just really is such a diverse collective group of people. So the more that we can grow that community, that would be the best thing that I could get accomplished in the next, month too, is really grow the garden.
Well, Rita, I'm going to reach out to you about that for a personal meeting, so we can talk a little bit about that too.
Awesome, great.
Miss Wendy, you have an announcement coming up, and you know that I want to hear what it is. So
I haven't. I do. Okay. Well, you can reach me on Facebook because that's the easiest way to get me. So there's my Facebook page. What I was going to say, a couple of things. I'm coming on Blab. I'm moving my show over. It will start in June. Sabrina, I hope you got the thing to join me on my show. So anyway, it's called Love, Light, and Passion. It was on Blog Talk for the last 2 years, and I'm coming over and moving it to a platform. The other thing, starting next month, I'm starting my 7-day challenge to a social media strategy. So if you would like a high-level, free challenge to do, I'll be sending videos and worksheets daily for 7 days, and we'll cover strategy to time management, and really looking forward. And then I'll have at the end of that a live Q&A. You can ask me any questions you want, and then everybody who joins that will get a free half-an-hour consult based on what they still need to work on.
Which, if you have a consult with Wendy, you're going to find out is a bunch. But you have a bunch to work on, but she is going to define and narrow that down for you so that you can actually see what it is you have to work on, not be overwhelmed by this big pile of poop that you don't know what to do with. So, all right. So, ladies, Miss Wendy Manganaro is with me on Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern as my co-host on Blab. So just want to remind our replay audience that we are here. So please feel free to come join us. And I want to thank my special guest today, Miss Rita Goodrow. Rita, I'm going to reach out to you so we can talk about some of those things.
Yes.
They have posted their contact information in the chat box. So if you would like to reach out to either of these amazing women, please do so.
Absolutely.
But don't be a pigeon. Don't fly by and drop your shit. Pull up a chair, stay a while, and say hello, because that's how you really network. All right, so we will see you guys on Monday. Take care, everybody. I'm going to stop this recording. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.